Andrew. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Tiverton Financial Town Hearing, July 1st, 2021. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. I just will introduce the speakers that I see that are present. From the Budget Committee, we have John Edwards and Tom Haley. From the Town Council, we have Councilor Edwards, Councilor Janik, Councilor DeMedeiros, and Councilor Cook. And from the School Committee, we have School Committee Chair, Dr. Larkin. We're here today to meet on financial town hearing for the financial town referendum. We currently have one budget proposal by the Budget Committee. I'll go through the procedure. The Budget Committee will present their proposed budget and their 6 resolutions. That will be followed by the Town Council presenting their 3 resolutions. After that, there will be a period for public comment and questions. Just want to review some of the key dates here. Mail ballot applications are available at the Town Hall and also on the town website. Deadline for submitting a mail ballot application is tomorrow, July 2nd, by 4 p.m. The Financial Town referendum will be held at the Tiverton High School on July 17th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. There is also absentee voting on Thursday, July 15th and Friday, July 16th at the Town Hall from 8:30 to 4. The docket and resolutions, Town Council resolutions, are available on the town website, along with the treasurer's report for fiscal year for 2021. The docket, unfortunately, I have to say, I missed a key date. I delivered the docket to the printer today, so it'll take them a few days, along with the holiday weekend. It'll take them a few days to get those printed. So as soon as those are available, they'll be at the library and at the town hall. But in the interim, the docket is definitely available on the town website. And if a copy is needed, you can stop by the town clerk's office and we will have it available by printing at our office. For Budget Committee, the budget proposal, I will turn the meeting over to Mr. Edwards to continue to explain do the presentation of the Budget Committee's fiscal year 2022 budget proposal.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So for everybody listening, if you'd like to see the specific documents in PDF form, they are available on tiverton.ri.gov/FTR. And from there, you'll be able to find the 2022 Budget Committee document, as well as the council's resolutions and key dates and everything related to the Financial Town referendum. So to dive into the Budget Committee's proposal and the process we went through, the Budget Committee's been meeting since January. We came together. We've had starts and stops as the dates got pushed back as a result of the state budget being pushed back. We were able to work through that amicably, I would say. And the result of our efforts is a very stripped down municipal budget. We were, able to get the school committee everything that they had asked for, the maximum that they had asked for from us, and the net result is an increase in our levy of 3.97%. which equates to a tax rate of $14.40 per thousand. When you look through the budget document, there's a number of areas where you'll see that we made cuts versus what was initially requested. Some of those areas include capital expenditures. In discussions with the town council was wise enough to come forward and use monies that they had in this year's budget to purchase all of the capital expenditures minus one item in this year's budget. So our capital expenditures request is essentially zero. It's $50,000. That $50,000 represents half of the first payment for a ladder truck, which is something that this town desperately needs. As you go through the rest of the municipal budget, everything is essentially level funded or decreased. We did keep some monies aside because the council will be going through contract negotiations with a couple of our unions. So they do need to have some money set aside in order to accommodate that. And then you'll also see information related to revenue estimates that were provided to us by the treasurer. So total school expenses for this coming fiscal year in our proposed budget is $32,506,856. Total municipal expenses in this proposed budget is $21,391,096, and a total capital expense proposal of $220,140, which leads to a total proposed budget of $54,118,092. When we subtract off the net property tax, or I'm sorry, the non-property tax revenue, it's another subtraction of $13,595,433. So we're going to raise $40,522,659 from taxes, with a subtraction for the state motor vehicles tax of $1,355,000. So our total levy, which is how we get to that $14.40 per thousand, is $39,242,659. So to put that into perspective for anybody who's watching at home and doing math, if you had a home that was valued at $360,000 at $14.40 per thousand, your total tax rate, your total real estate taxes for FY 2022 would be $5,184.35. Now I'll move over to the budget resolutions, which the Budget Committee had put forward, and I'll read them and then give a brief explanation of what each one does. So our first resolution is that the expense and revenue budgets, both itemized by account, that support the proposal for appropriations and tax levies, which receives a majority of votes cast by the electors at this financial town referendum, shall be adopted as the Tiverton General Fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022. This upcoming financial town referendum features only a single budget. So as long as one vote is cast in the affirmative for that budget, this budget will carry forward. The second resolution is that all municipal capital accounts be restricted for their intended purpose, and that no transfers are authorized out of those accounts except to other municipal accounts in a declared state of emergency. This resolution would require that any capital expenditures of which this budget proposes or contemplates only one, capital expenditure of $50,000 for the ladder truck, those monies would be restricted specifically for their intended purpose, unless, of course, there is a state of emergency declared, in which case the council would be able to shift monies out of there. The third resolution is that if the electors at this financial town referendum appropriate a sum for municipal operations and capital expenses that includes an amount to fund the revaluation account, said amount shall be placed in the restricted reevaluation reserve account to be used solely for the purpose of funding property reevaluations. Funds remaining in this restricted account at the end of June 30th, 2022 shall be carried over into the same account for fiscal year 2023. So any monies that are set aside expressly for the reevaluation of properties, which is something that we do on a regular basis, those monies are restricted, and any monies that are not expended would be carried forward. This resolution is a continuation of past policy. The idea being that every 3 years when we go through a revaluation, we don't want to have a a huge jump in that account, which would equate to an increase in taxes. So, excuse me. So what the budget does is it puts some money aside so that we're breaking up those, every 3-year payments into every single year. The fourth resolution is that if the electors at this financial town referendum appropriate a sum for municipal operations and capital expenses that includes an amount to fund the elections account, said amount shall be placed in the restricted elections reserve account to be used solely for the purpose of funding future elections, financial town referendum, and runoffs if necessary. Funds remaining in this restricted account at the end of June 30, 2022 shall be carried over into the same account for fiscal year 2023. So similar to the prior resolution, any monies that are set aside specifically for the purpose of funding elections are going to stay in the elections account and carry forward if they are not expended. The fifth resolution is that account 5540-6794 paving/drainage, curbing, and sidewalks account shall be a restricted account to be used solely for the purpose of paving, drainage, curbing, and sidewalks. Funds remaining in this restricted account at the end of June 30, 2022 shall be carried over into the same account for fiscal year 2023. So any monies that were appropriated for paving and drainage shall be carried forward if they are not expended. The idea being that, based on season changing and, monies that we may have come through, if they, if for some reason the weather is awful or we get a hurricane or something and, DPW is unable to pave roads that are on the schedule, those roads aren't going to fall off the schedule. They will be paved at some point. The final resolution that the budget committee put forward is to the extent not in conflict with the budget proposal approved at this financial town referendum, any and all revenues raised by the town through the quote pay-as-you-throw program in fiscal year 2022 shall be restricted for landfill closure consistent with the prior year funds remaining in this restricted account at the end of June 30, 2022 shall be carried over into the same account for fiscal year 2023. So a continuation of a long-standing policy for the town where every dollar that is raised from the pay-as-you-throw program is put into a restricted account intended to close the landfill or cap the landfill. We are rapidly approaching that date.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Can we mute Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, I noticed it.
Thank you. It's estimated that the town will need to expend somewhere around $11 million in order to close the landfill. I don't have specific numbers in front of me right now, but our current balance stands somewhere around $9 million. So it's imperative that we get that fully funded because the landfill is going to close in the near future. Luckily, we were able to get an extension for a short period of time. Else, we would already be closing it currently. So those are the 6 resolutions. That's a brief synopsis of the budget. And I want to thank every member of the budget committee who put in hard work, Mr. Haley for being here tonight to help me answer questions as well. And I think that we did a good job. It was a very difficult situation for the town, given the revenues and given how we were coming out of the pandemic and the deadlines and dates being pushed back. But I think that we did as a whole, we did a very good job in putting together the best budget that we could possibly put forward, taking into account the needs of the community and the ability of the community to pay for those needs. Thank you. And I believe at this point we will turn it over to Denise DeMedeiros, who is not here.
So she's available. Jay, could you read the resolutions from the town council?
Actually, Chris, Mike Burke wants to be let in.
Okay.
The panelist.
Nope.
All right. So we're going to have Mike Burke, Vice Chair of the Town Council, read the resolutions that the Town Council put forward.
Okay, here he comes.
Hi, Mike. I think you're on mute.
No.
I think you're back on mute.
Sorry, Denise was telling me how she couldn't get on and the like. So
Yeah,
Anyway.
She had been on and then she disappeared.
Yeah, she got kicked off again. So let me find our town council resolutions. We have 3 of them. The first one is resolved that with regard to the sale of any one group of parcels within the Tiverton Industrial Park up to and including the entire industrial park, 25% of the proceeds from each sale shall be set aside in a restricted account used solely for the purpose of developing the park, including but not limited to providing a town financial match for federal and state grants, development of infrastructure such as utilities or roads, or the professional engineering costs associated with such activities. Funds remaining in this restricted account at the end of June 30, 2022 shall be carried over into the same account for fiscal year 2023. Number 2, resolved to the extent not in conflict with the budget proposal approved at this financial town referendum, that 25% of any and all real estate conveyance tax funds received by the town for fiscal year 2022 shall be reserved for open space purposes under the purview of the Open Space Commission. And number 3, excuse me, resolved that the town, once all provisions of the charter and accounting requirements are met, shall transfer out of the unexpended municipal expense appropriation determined as of June 30, 2022, 25% into the restricted paving drainage account 5540-6794 and 25% into the restricted capital expenditure account 0980-9999. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Mike. Do we have any public comments and questions? Oh, if you have any comments or questions, please raise your hand if you're an attendee.
Madam Clerk, it looks like all the attendees are either town employees or members of the respective committees.
And Chris, I see Denise is in the audience again. I don't know if she wants to be let in, but
I'm going to bring her in.
Yeah.
Hang on. I was just getting the so I can read for the YouTube video group. Let's see. I don't have her as an attendee.
GL dash or GL dot something or other.
she was just there and she disappeared again.
Yeah, she's having serious computer problems.
So if you're watching this on YouTube videos, Tiverton videos, you can call 877-853-5247. You'll need the meeting ID number, which is 849-8039-9633 with the passcode of 930660. All this is published on the town's website under the FTR for the FTR public hearing for tonight. So if you want to speak, you can, again, call 877-853-5247. Our meeting ID number is 849-8039-9633. 930660 is the passcode. We'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody calls in. In the meantime, if there's anybody in the attendee list who would like to speak, please raise your hand.
Mr. Administrator, I'd just like to add, as I read through, I referenced several times the capital expenditure of $50,000, which represents half of a payment for the fire truck. I neglected to delineate that $50,000 is in addition to $170,140, which is time finance payments that we're obligated to pay, which is how we wound up at that $220,140 number.
Thank you, John. Any other comments from the panelists? Dr. Locken, do you have any comments?
Not really. I guess the only real comment right now is that I appreciate the work of the budget committee. The the school's budget as approved by the budget committee was the maximum allowed by statute, but it does still leave us with a operating deficit that we're going to need to somehow close of about $1.4 million, which also reflects, you know, part of the issue is also that we lost state aid as a town this year based on the funding formula. So the absolute increase in the levy sort of some of it has to make up for some of that.
If I could just add, and I don't know if this has been made public, but it's my understanding that the state budget does contemplate fully funding and restoring the supposedly lost funding from state aid to the tune of $500 and some thousand. So if the state budget passes, then the school department should be made whole from the state's perspective, but that's a one-time deal.
We don't know that that's going to happen. And we've actually, you know, we did get some favorable information from our legislative delegation that that was going to happen. We can find no mention of it in the budget itself. And we have tried to get information from RIDE, which actually dispenses the funds. And we've not gotten any kind of confirmation. It would be great if that happened. It would certainly go a way towards closing that gap. But as of now, we don't know.
Okay, I don't believe we have any people calling in. If there are no more comments from anyone else, then we can adjourn this meeting. So Denise, do you have anything?
No, I want to apologize. For some reason, I'm coming in as upside down and the computer knocks me off. And I want to thank Councilor Edwards for presenting what he needed to for me tonight. And I'll have to fix my upside. I will show you once again, here I am. And no matter what I do, I cannot fix it. So it's my life lately. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's why I laughed. That's why I laughed when Jerry was talking. Sorry, Jerry. I saw her coming upside down and I chuckled.
Yeah.
Yeah, my computer updated right before we entered this meeting, and this is what happened. So I apologize.
So it's showing you as you really are?
Yeah, this is me. I'm sorry, guys, but I am.
You need to thank Mike. He presented though.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for whoever did it for me. It's a computer thing, and I apologize.
Madam Chair, just turn the computer upside down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, it works.
No, that didn't
Oh, now she's gone.
Denise, I heard bats hang upside down.
I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah, that's been a problem here at this house. Wait a minute. Nope, it's not working. All right, guys. Well, thank you all. And thank you for asking me if I had comments, but my night's kind of crazy tonight. So thank you.
Okay,
Blame the
so
dog.